Santanu Mahapatra. I am working as a professor here in the Department of Electronic System Engineering, formerly known as CEDT, in this Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So today I am with my colleagues from CEFIPRA, and I did a project. I was with one of my colleagues from Paris, and today I will talk about that project. And not only that project, I was also benefited by two of my student fellowship. I also talk about those programs. So it was almost 10 years back. I do not remember clearly, but I am trying to recollect. I printed out some documents, and just from there I will try to say. So actually my core research area, it is device modeling. More specifically, it is called compact modeling or SPICE modeling. If you are somehow aware about integrated circuit or IC integrated circuit design, so we use a software called SPICE because the circuit is very big, you cannot analyze it by your hands. So this software helps us to simulate a circuit, and the backbone of this simulator to represent each of these active element that we call transistor, diode, etc. We have mathematical model. More specifically, it is called physics-based mathematical model, that is actually known as SPICE model or compact model. And when we talk about new kind of transistors, we do research on transistors, but transistors application is in circuit. So when you like to, you may do research on new kind of transistor, but when you like to make electronic circuit using the transistor and very large circuit or integrated circuit, you need this kind of software. So this any new kind of transistor has to be modeled. Okay, and difference between ordinary mathematical modeling, or you can say in today's world this machine learning model, the difference is that here our model or compact model has to be a physics based model. We try to understand what is the physics inside this electronic device, and from that understanding of the physics we build up the model. So it is a bit different than regular modeling practice that is done in other field of sciences. Okay, and at that time I am talking about 2010 when we started the project. I would like to speak few words about my collaborator. This is very special because I did my PhD from EPFL Switzerland back in 2005, and then immediately I came here and joined as a assistant professor. And at that time I was not aware about CEFIPRA. Then from some source I came to know about CEFIPRA, and also from some same source I came to know about my colleague Professor Costin. His name was Costin Anghel. He was from Romania, and he was also doing PhD in my group in another topic under the same supervisor. And so it was kind of reunion, because I have heard that after finishing his PhD, he defended just 3 months before me back in 2005. 2004 end he defended, and I defended in 2005. Then after that I was kind of disconnected, and later I figured out he moved to CELAT to do his postdoc. Then he joined this institute, in a very small institute, but I visited that place many times, just at the heart of Paris, Mahapatra probably. And so it was a small institute, and he joined there as an assistant professor. So then I sent him an email, said hi, and yeah, it is reunion, and we decided to build up a project, because he in his PhD also he worked in device modeling. I worked in a device called single electron transistor. That was very emerging thing at that time, way back in early 2000 and like 2004 2005. And he was working on modeling of power MOSFET, LD MOS, etc. So then at that time our semiconductor technology was changing. We are changing from nowadays, all of this FinFET, the nano sheet transistor, but I am talking about early 2000. Then it was still bulk, and industry was moving towards this multiple gate transistor, double gate transistor, and two different company. I would say one side you had TSMC, Intel, who are working on this FinFET based transistor, and another side you have IBM, ST Microelectronics. They are working so-called ultra thin body, independent double gate kind of architecture. So this was two parallel technology was evolving, and we worked on the modeling of this double gate MOSFET, but our problem was to model this asymmetric double gate MOSFET, mainly to focus that the second technology, that is ST Microelectronics, IBM, have that you have two independent gate and you have asymmetry in the electrostatic, and the mathematics was pretty complex, and so the idea here is to develop SPICE compatible model, and the challenge is here you have to balance between your mathematical complexity and the physics. I mean, you can write very complex maths to represent the physics well, but here, since we are talking about simulation of hundreds and thousands of transistors, if the mathematics is too complex, it is very difficult to put this equation inside a SPICE and then to simulate a large circuit. So that is the typical challenge we have in this compact modeling. And I guess we did pretty well in this project, and we have we had three transaction, IEEE transaction publication as a joint author, and then it ended well, pretty well, and so we also have exchange of student. I remember I had a student here, they visited there, meanwhile Costin came here twice. I also visited IFCPAR twice. So it was really a very good memory, and I would say it is a successful project. And this is not the end of the story, and because there was a follow-up of our project in another way, I got benefited. I think this council, CEFIPRA council, they evaluated our project, and they gave us probably outstanding or excellent grade, I don't remember correctly, and whoever get this higher grade, and they are actually invited by CEFIPRA to conduct a workshop, combining bringing expert from both of the country, and so we are invited to conduct this workshop. This was a great experience, and we did it. We did it. It was just trying to figure out. So the name of this workshop was Indo-French workshop on emerging trends of electron device modeling. It was held here at ISC Bangalore in our very old main building during March to April 2015. And if I remember correctly, almost 10 scientists from France who work in the allied domain of device modeling, both from academia, industry, and the research lab, CNRS. And industry means CLAT, people were there, and there were people from academia, they came here, and from here I invited almost 20 faculty members from IIT, ISC, and other newer institute. We had a good time for 3 days. We had this workshop, and how I get benefited is that there I met Dr. Mark Bescon from CNRS, who also attended this workshop. And at that time, I had a lady student called Madhuchanda Blomba. We were trying to develop what is called a quantum transport model based on non-equilibrium green function NEGF methodology for two-dimensional material-based transistor, tunnel FET, etc. And then we discussed this thing with Dr. Beskant, and he was actually an expert on this NEGF formalism. And so we decided to collaborate. Then immediately, as you know, I don't know whether you know about it, that CEFIPRA has also other program, like one is a Raman Chapak Fellowship, where a student is given, it is named after two great scientists from two countries, and a student is given a fellowship for 6 months from both sides, I guess. That is cross country travel, and they can go to any laboratory and spend there for 6 months. So through this Raman Chapak fellowship program, I collaborated. After this project, I collaborated with Dr. Mark Beskant and completely on a different topic. And so Madhuchanda was there for 6 months, and we together developed in-house quantum transport simulator. And there also we published 2 papers jointly with Mark. And our final paper, it was an advanced version of this quantum transfer model that we call, most of the time you will see in the paper, these are ballistic in nature, but we also incorporated the electron phonon coupling into it, so we call it dissipative quantum transfer model. And the final paper we published in Journal of Applied Physics. To be mentioned, it was editor choice, editors pick that particular paper. And another thing is that meanwhile, now I don't think it is this program is still on. There was something called ESON workshop. It is something, I don't remember, it was some summer school on nanotechnology, and it was a different program, but CEFIPRA was selecting student and giving fellowship that student from India who would like to participate there. So one of my student, Neha Sharan, PhD student, who was selected by CEFIPRA, and she participated with the fellowship from CEFIPRA in this Asian workshop, and she was very much benefited from it. So this is all about, what I recollect from our interaction with CEFIPRA, and and how I was benefited. And I encourage all of you who will be going through this video to look for collaborator, and basically we learned several new skills through this collaboration, and both sides scientists were rewarded in terms of publication, very good publication, and students were benefited by upskilling. Thank you.
Long live India and France friendship.